One of the problems with a system that doesn't work is we still rely on it and there isn't something to replace it. And one of those systems, which is failing absolutely, is the post. I've just received a letter this morning and it told me about the death of an old friend. And I remember going to Greece to rescue her. She'd got caught up in some sort of nonsense and she was agoraphobic and she was dependent on somebody who was really quite abusive. And I remember flying out to Greece, to the island where she was staying, accompanying her, taking her back to Athens, where I had a house, and then getting her back on an aeroplane and making sure she got safely back to the UK. I remember this as as quite an interesting adventure, and her sister very kindly wrote me a letter and pointed out that this was something that the family were very grateful for. And I sort of taken it in my stride. I hadn't really paid that much attention to it, but I do remember the incident and I remember it happening. I also remember her coming back to stay with us when we moved from the centre of Athens to Piraeus, and that was equally fairly dramatic. And she died, I'm not sure when she died actually, but her funeral is today. So the letter was posted on the 7th, and I posted first class, and I got it today. Not in time for me to respond, not in time for me to do anything, and that level of chaos. And I know my postman. He often speaks to me. We often have a chat together. He's delightful. But he pointed out to me the last time we spoke that he wasn't allowed to do any overtime, and he couldn't manage the backlog of letters which were building up whenever he wasn't on duty. And that's the chaos we're dealing with. So if the post isn't reliable, we shouldn't be using it. We should stop it and we should go to something which is reliable. So if anybody does think of sending me something through the Royal Mail, don't. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It takes a week for a first-class letter to get from London to here. That's nonsensical. And there should be an explanation and there should be a protest. Instead, we're so tied up with protesting about so many other things. And the basic things which have governed our life since the 19th century in this country do not work. I know other people talk about missing important events because of the mail. Well, now I've missed one. And this friend, Claire, she's the same age as me. And it sends sort of shock through a system when you find somebody you know well dies, and when you don't learn about it. I knew that she'd been ill. I thought she'd recovered. Clearly not. But, yeah, I don't think there's anything anybody can say to defend the post office. It just needs closing.